good evening. Welcome to another episode of Scott's Garage. I guess I'm just going to start calling it that, considering I'm doing more than just the Virago project now. Either way, today we're going to be looking at a problem with the CBR. I recently started having an electrical issue with this guy, and I thought that me going through the process of debugging this and finding a solution for it might be helpful for any other CBR600 owners out there that may be watching this too. So I don't show this bike a lot on my channel, but this is by far my favorite bike of any of the ones that I own, and it is a beast. Okay, so if you guys are unaware, this is a 2009 Honda CBR600RR. It's the ABS model. I got it painted in that Elkhart Lake blue metallic. It's the same blue that GM puts on the Corvettes for the 2019 model year. Real fancy bike. It's got a lot of mods done to it. But either way, the problem I'm having is, like I said, is electrical. So on this bike, I've replaced every light with an LED light. And all of this has been working really well. I had never replaced the flasher, which is, something you pretty much are supposed to do when you replace all the LED lights, or the relay. So the reason is that the relay operates on, and I think I already tossed the old one. But yeah, so the relay operates basically on resistance and is expecting a certain amount of resistance along that line to determine the speed at which it triggers the blinker, right? So your left and right turn signals. When you swap to LEDs, that resistance is lower, and now your blinker speed real fast, right? So you're supposed to get what they call a fixed rate relay, and essentially all it is a replacement relay. That goes up under the seat. I'm not going to pull the seat off, but it's just an electrical turn signal relay. And that relay is a fixed rate, circuit board or whatever that they cram in there. And OEM replacement. You can actually get them on CRFs only, which is where I was just looking at the last one. You can also find some knockoffs on Amazon for like $10 or whatever. The one on CRFs only, I can guarantee, is a good one. I just bought that one to try and fix this problem, but it didn't work. So the problem I'm having is this. We turn the motor on, and I hit the turn signal. And there's this delay. And a delay. And there we go. And it finally comes on, right? Now, I cancel, and I do the right turn signal, and again, delay, but a little bit shorter, Left turn signal again, a shorter delay. Right turn signal, short delay. Left turn signal, delay. So there's this delay in between the time when I hit the signal compared to when the signal actually starts blinking, right? So even though the signal works correctly and the fixed rate is correct, there's the delay when you hit the switch. So we're going to try and solve that delay. This delay only started happening recently, within the last couple weeks. And when it started happening, I thought, oh well, it must be the relay. The relay has no, I had never replaced the relay. So I went and bought the relay from CRFs only, swapped it in here because it's the same relay for both bikes, and it did nothing. So it did stabilize my flash rate. These used to do the rapid flash thing. So okay, cool, but it didn't fix this delay. So I think the actual problem. I think the actual problem is going to be the switch itself. So this is the original switch the original turn signal switch. The thing about this switch is when you push it left or right, this is actually making a contact inside there, connecting those contacts together when you push. And there's a whole bunch of dielectric grease in there, to give you a smooth action and that sort of thing. Unfortunately, that sort of grease breaks down over time. And this being a 2009, I mean, it's a 10-year-old bike now. It's a 10-year-old bike now. And then I bet that grease has broken down, and become no longer effective. So I can kind of tell by hitting the turn signal, I can kind of feel it being stiff, much stiffer than it really should be. Like this one being new from the factory, it's got a real good snap feel, action to it, where this one feels kind of like rubbery, gloopy. It takes a little bit of effort to push through, and the reason for that is the grease has become thicker and more viscous as it's broken down. So there's two like small Phillips head screws that hold this guy together. Those guys. And then it just pops off and pops right out. It's hard to tell, but you'll see that there's this pin right here, this protrusion that sticks up, and there's actually an indent on the underside of this, like a tiny little hole drilled into the handlebar. I don't think I can get you a shot of that. Maybe. Oh, look at that. Yeah, tiny little indent there, so that you know exactly where this guy's supposed to be positioned. When you put it back here, that little thing will just snap right in place. So, pretty fancy, right? So I don't want to disassemble the whole switch just because of all the wiring in there. So I tell you what we're gonna do. Here's the inside of the switch. You can see you have your high beam and your low beam switch connected with those two wires. I don't think we need to bother removing that switch. To access the turn signal switch and the horn, you need to remove this silver plate. It's done with this one tiny Phillips right here. This should just pop right off. Yeah, there we go. So, now you can see the action of the switch itself. And you'll see that grease is just, I mean, it doesn't look too bad, but it does feel stiff either way. So, here's what's gonna happen. We have this can of this QD electronics cleaner. I think that might work pretty well. If it doesn't, we're gonna hit it with WD-40, because I don't think there's any actual I was gonna say I don't think there's any electrical components down there, but that's wrong. That's wrong. Don't quote me on that. Yeah. You see that action. It's much better now. Hear how it clicks Much better than it was just 2 seconds ago. But I don't think we're going to go to the trouble of disassembling the whole switch. I think that is probably a pretty good repair. Just cleaning that up. But there's only one way to find out, really. Look at that immediacy. Yep. Whoops. Horn still works. Yeah, that's a good repair. So, if you have that problem with your CBR, or really probably any of your Honda motorcycles, that's the fix. So you really just need to clean up that, that grease. So if you're still, if you clean that up, you could probably clean it up a little bit better with WD-40. I'm not sure how WD-40 might affect the electrical components for the horn, like the horn switch, because it's all the way down there. And without taking it apart, I don't know exactly if it can reach, which is why I recommend using this electronic cleaner, because this stuff is at least safe for that for electrical components, and it can help prevent contact failure. So that's literally its whole point. So I don't think you can use too much of this stuff. I really don't. I mean, don't use too much all at once, but multiple sprayings, multiple cleanings isn't going to hurt anything. So it's good stuff. Once it's clean, if you're still concerned about, no longer having the grease in there, I think this is all I have left. Yeah, I only have this tiny little packet of dielectric grease. But you can take some new dielectric grease and, smear a little bit in there. Just like that. Make sure you get this guy, since that's a friction point. A contact friction point. And now it'll be smooth, but snappy, with good contact and new grease. And just to be sure, let's give it another check. Instant. Exactly what we wanted. That's a good fix. A good free fix. So we'll button all this up here in a second. But mostly just wanted to show that to you guys in case any of you run across a similar problem with your CBR or really any of your Honda turn signals, since they're all more or less the same. This should be a good fix for anybody running into that particular problem. Hope this helps you fix your turn signal lag. Let me know if that did the trick for you. And tune in next time when we pick up on the Virago again. So, thanks.